Okay, these are words that came up in our class discussion today, in our class today, in our discussions today. All those you can say. These are phrases. They're just phrases that came up in our class today. They're phrases that came up in our discussion today. We can also say these are terms that came up in our discussion today. Get a good sentence and put in different nouns in there. This one. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate that movie? Also, how would you rate that movie? Oh, that movie, Titanic? I love Titanic. I'd say it's a 10. I'd rate it a 10. I'd give it a 10. I would say it's a 10. But I use this for words, like how common are the words, expressions. So, for example, you have the floor. That's going to be usually in Congress or something. Mr. Speaker from Illinois, you have the floor, or the something like this. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's for me only about a 3 or 4. You might hear it in meetings. I'll probably send another example I found on the internet. The National Assembly, if they spoke English, were they to speak English, they would probably say something like that. But again, not that common. Something like this, though. Maybe there's a car accident, or a small car accident. And people argue, and they say, I had the right of way. No, I had the right of way. It's important for one driver to give the right of way to the other guy. I think that's more common. To learn by trial and error, to proceed by trial and error, to go ahead with... To learn by trial and error, I think, is the best. So the more you speak, it's okay to make the mistakes. Just have somebody give you feedback and then try to practice. Some pronunciation points, and I have a good friend who can help with this. Walk and work. American R is work, work. But this one sounds like you're drinking. Walk, walk. I walk to work every day. Now, a British accent, I walk to work every day. I don't know how I sound, probably terrible. But the American R is like a dog, I think. But this one's like you're drinking. I had problems today. Problem is more serious. Issue is nicer, more formal. I had a few issues today with the monitor. But I had a good person to help me out. He knows who this is. It's like a code. Is it Ungi, right? But I appreciate it. I'm very appreciative of the work you've done, of how you helped. I want to say thank you. I want to give a shout out. Hello! I appreciate you helping me out there. We also had spread the wealth around. You're eating pizza, and I say, hey, I want some pizza. Come on, spread the wealth around. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think this is about a 4, maybe a 3. Sometimes we say it, though. It just means share. Play the blame game. I didn't do it. He did it. Oftentimes with the language issue, the language problem in aviation, maybe the government can blame the company, and the company can blame the pilots, and the pilots can blame the teachers, or the pilots can blame the regulators or somebody else, or the controllers, and the controllers can blame the pilots. It's always the blame game. How about we just help each other? Today we had the PowerPoint questions, and one person was trying to ask, I think Ian was trying to ask, oh, we don't remember the questions. Can you bring up the PowerPoint? Can you put up the PowerPoint slide again so we can see it? In English, Moksam, pastor, minister, reverend. Priest, I think is more this one. Father, if you're talking to him or about him. Oh, Father Kim, he's very nice. Oh, hello, Father. Good morning, Father. But what's his job? He's a priest. Female, she's a priestess. I told this story, I hope I spelled this right, this Achomjingi. He's a flatterer. But, that's kind of, I think that's a bit too formal. It's more comfortable for me to say he's a kiss-up. Kiss is kind of a curse word, a bad word. Brown-noser, to brown nose is the verb. I like this one, though. So I asked, who's the biggest, what's Achomjingi in English? And KJK said, Adam, you are. And I said, okay, touche, well played. One good turn deserves another. if someone insults you or you feel insulted, you can just say, and you want to be nice, you can say, well, or you thought it was funny, you say, well played, sir, well played. Touche, right? Now, revenge is serious. Revenge is a dish best served cold. This expression, I think, is, in movies. I don't use it that much, but I do hear it. What time do we start class? What time does the online discussion start? 101, on the money, on the dot, exactly. Again, I like groups of words. Let's start the class at 1 p.m. Is it possible to change your pronunciation? I think so, with a lot of hard work and time. But remember, this verb, how do you pronounce that? My Spanish students confuse these all the time. Pronounce and pronunciation. This is the noun. This is the verb. We have a thing called English CRM, where we help each other. Subsidy, subsidize is the verb. I really do think that agricultural subsidies are terrible. No, they're not terrible. I mean, they really cause trouble, I think. Now, also, for aviation English, some governments, they will kind of subsidize classes or help pay for classes, that type of thing. I know the Korean government, I think they did it with the construction industry. They would pay for special English classes for them. Phrasal verbs. Okay. Quickly, this came up. If you say somebody, she puts on makeup, he's in a rock band, he puts on makeup, but women often wear makeup. They put on makeup in the morning. But that's a phrasal verb because you got to put the preposition on here. Now, I say you have to learn a lot of these to be a good speaker. Remember, I also said my Spanish friends, I hate the phrasal verbs. Yeah, me too. But you should study them, because when you put the preposition on this verb, it changes it. Just look at all these expressions with get. Oh my God, those colors are terrible. There we go. Really important. I said today we're going to change our tentative schedule. Or we have a tentative schedule. If you said temporary schedule, that's more serious. Like, this is just for today. But tentative is this looks like it's probably going to happen. Stronger the schedule as it stands, the current schedule. Remember, we like groups of words together, right? This is the tentative schedule. It might change. Shiheng Chako. You have to learn by trial and error. You have to proceed by trial and error. I hope I got that right. Okay. Put someone on the spot. The reporter put the president on the spot by asking questions. Or someone comes into class late, and I say, "Oh, hey, excuse me there. I need to ask you a question. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I wanted to ask you a question. Why are you late? Or what's today's homework?" This one I'd like to ask my British friend. All these get off the plane, disembark, deplane. Again, the other instructor, Chris, did not like this deplane. I don't really use it much either, but I have heard it. Who, what, when, where, why, how. If you answer with this for each question, you'll get better. You'll speak more. Okay. Last, I wanted to give a shout out. I want to say hello to Rachel Shief, who has a IKO English group here that you can look her up, sign up. She has great pronunciation. She sounds great. And again, I'm an American. I'm from the U.S. I'm from the States, so I don't want to just give my opinion about words and usage. I want to, say hello to other people. Rachel, if you are, she has a IKO English page, so guys, check it out. Rachel, these are some of the dudes in the class. I gave them code names based on their name. So if there's a guy named Hyungmok, not saying his last name, but we can call him HHK. I'm going to give a shout out to HHK. There's also a guy named Gite. I'll call him 5Gite, 5KT, which I think sounds cool. And Ungi, which we'll call this Emugi. Something cool. So these are just to say hello because if things are personal, people pay attention to it more. People listen. You need material that's interesting. It's about you, about your life. And also, Rachel does a lot of work. She has a lot of experience in this area, way more than me. So check it out if you get time. Anyway, this video was made so that from now until the end of time, or until YouTube is destroyed, you guys can hear, practice, or remember the words that came up in our discussion. The end.